Today's Spotlight is brought to you in part by presenting sponsor, First Community Financial Bank, the community bank where you come first. You're watching Spotlight, and with me today representing the Education Center are Dr. Michael Litow and Jeanne Newman. Dr. Mike, welcome back. Jeanne, nice to meet you.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
We're excited, as we always are, to see you about this time of year. Remind us, the Education Center, what's it all about? Who does it support?
Well, the Education Center's mission is to help kids succeed not only in school, but in life. And we do that by giving them the skills, the self-confidence, and motivation to achieve that success. We serve students who are considered underachieving, some students who have special education needs, a lot of them missing assignments, poor test scores, low grades, lack of motivation. So we put together an individualized program to help give them academic support. And also we work very closely with the parents, and we work very closely with the homeschool, the teachers, the psychologists, the deans, and social workers.
Really try to bring it all together a little bit, maybe.
Right. The communication and collaboration is key. That way we can determine whether what we're doing is making progress at the homeschool.
And ages?
We started out working with kids from 6 through 18, but now we work with a lot of young adults in 20s.
That's nice. I think oftentimes we sort of forget, they become a little bit of that forgotten generation as far as, you know, they get a lot of support in high school and then they don't have those same struts and support.
Right.
Yeah. Jeanne, how did you get involved in the Education Center?
Well, our son was the classic overachieving Napervillian. Excelled in sports, excelled in school, excelled in music, just did everything really well. Went to college and was studying engineering and decided it was not for him. Came home and was kind of lost. And there's only so many times a parent can say, buck up, old boy, you know, these things happen in life. And quite frankly, we were out of tricks in our bag. And my husband at the time said, I wonder if Mike Litow and the Education Center could help him. And so we gave a call, and Mike said, your son needs to call me directly. And our son did do that. He complied. And Mike just sat and was a fresh pair of ears for my son to talk to, and could glean out of the conversation that he was on the right path, that he was going to be okay, and that he believed in him, and believed in him so much that he asked John to do tutoring for the Education Center for kids who were struggling with math and science projects.
That's wonderful. Found a purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Found a
He
purpose.
did a fabulous job.
I think it's interesting, Jeanne, because you sort of, I think oftentimes we don't think that the classic overachievers, the ones that excel at everything, also need a helping hand sometimes.
Oh, sure.
And I think that that's really a great story and a great segue into what you do at the Education Center. It isn't just for, as we might think, somebody who's struggling with every aspect of their life. In your son's case, was doing extremely well in so many things, but
just tanked, you know, and just needed a leg up and somebody to believe in him and give him the purpose.
Yeah.
And it's worked out very well for him. He is graduated with a degree in physics and is now a teacher himself on the high school level in a private school on the North Shore.
What a terrific success story, right?
Absolutely.
Now, Mike, when he was with you and tutoring, talk a little bit about that and talk about, so he came to you, you worked with him a little bit, and then he was helping you with other students. Talk about that.
Well, not only was he helping them with science and math, which many kids struggle with, but John has the ability to connect, to establish a rapport. He knows that it's not only about knowing your subject matter, but it's knowing not only what you're teaching, but who you're teaching. And he took the time to get to know these kids and listen to them and take them seriously. So they could talk to them not only about math, but they could talk to them about other things that are going on in their lives. And he had this ability to connect and establish, like I said, establish that rapport. And he could get them to do things that a lot of their teachers at their home school could not. And it was a pleasure watching him work.
Well, it's interesting that you talk about that, because sometimes it's not the academics that stops us from knowing and the learning. It's other things in our life, and so you talked about that listening, which obviously John's got some really good skills in that area that I would imagine, Jeanne, he's taken that forward with him. in the work that he's doing now.
Yeah, and it's created a passion for teaching and a passion for teaching to the student instead of to the class.
Yeah, because that's your background. I think people often forget that's your background, Mike, isn't it? It's really your passion.
It is my passion, and because I was considered learning disabled and incorrigible when I was a kid. Of course, my wife still thinks I'm incorrigible.
All wives do. That's how it is.
But no, John has a passion, and it's just amazing what he's able to, the success he's able to get with these students. He's working on math, but if a student says, I'm having trouble at home or I'm having trouble here, he would not dismiss that. He would just say, well, we got to work on math now. He would listen.
Yeah.
And so they felt comfortable enough to be able to talk with him and share.
Now, we're at the beginning of the school year, and I think oftentimes as parents we wait until midterms and finals, and then we start to realize possibly we have a problem. Houston, you're here because you feel very strongly about getting ahead of that, doing some preventative maintenance, perhaps.
Right. Well, I would hope that most parents would be proactive as opposed to reactive. If you have a child that's struggled, a history of struggling in school, then you want to get the help before things happen. And if this is a brand new school year, it's fresh start, clean slate, new beginning. What was, it's what shall be. So to get him or her out of the gate with the help and support that they need, and then eventually you can reduce that help. But don't wait for something to happen and then you're going to react to it.
Yeah. Proactivity, an ounce of prevention, pound of cure, right?
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Now, you have a big event coming up with your kid's best friend that you have annually. Tell us a little bit about why do you do that every year? Why is that important?
Well, it's important because it's our major fundraiser. And the money that we raise does not go to fancy offices and high administrative salaries and retreats. It goes for program services. We don't turn anybody away. So not only does the fundraiser, we raise money to do that, but it's also our way of saying thank you to people in the community who do some outstanding things on behalf of children.
Yeah. You've got some great ones I know coming up.
We
Jeanne,
do.
Talk a little bit. Why do you support the Education Center?
Well, for me, it's a no-brainer. It's I got to see firsthand the work that they did through the advancement of my son. So, we have a heart for kids, and education is the key to it all for them. But they have to be able to succeed in their own way, and success is defined so differently, and that's what the Education Center does. It just helps kids find their path and succeed in the way they are supposed to.
Well said. Very nice. Your event's coming up when, Mike?
October 14th at the Hilton in Lyle, and we're looking forward. It's going to be a great event.
We know it is. It always is. So thank you for stopping by and sharing. Thank you for sharing your son's story. It's a terrific example of the great work that you're doing. And if you would like more information about the Education Center or their upcoming Kids Best Friends benefit, please go and visit their website. We're going to take a quick break, but stay with us. We'll be right back with more Spotlight.